George, I want to say we're back with you today because obviously we had visited you 4 or 5 years ago when you were at Grass after getting the Fendt Katana that time. But we're down here with you today on the south coast of Dorset. You're currently maize planting here in the background.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about what's kind of changed for you over the last 4 or 5 years, because one thing that did kind of stand out a little bit to me arriving down to your yard last week was there's a couple of John Deeres after kind of appearing over the last couple of years. So what do you reckon has caused the change to John Deere a little bit?
The 250 seemed to be a lot better machine compared to we had an 828, and compared to that it'll walk all over the 828. Yeah, it's a good machine for the size, the John Deere. When
I did catch the 250 work and she was at mowing at silage there the other day.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Because obviously you do still have the reverse drive Fendt 936.
Yeah, I drive one of those, yeah. With the reverse drive on the 936, I don't think you can beat it really. You got everything in front of you. It's quite an expensive setup, but for the driver, you can't beat it, I don't think.
From an operator's point of view, it's great for the vision.
Yeah.
But then comparing that then to, because obviously the 6250R does run fairly well on the moors. Like obviously it was early cut grass that we saw last week.
Yeah.
Very early. It was the 31st March. Not quite April Fools. But like I know I was having a hard time keeping up with her with the drone, and that she wasn't even going full pelt. Like
no.
What you were running back then as well, you had the Class 970 chopper alongside your Fendt Katana.
Yes.
You're still running a Fendt Katana, but you have gone up now.
Yeah, still got the Fendt. Yeah.
Still, you've gone up now to the Class 980.
980, yeah.
Obviously, you've gotten on well with the Fendt to kind of have kept her on 5 or 6 years later.
Yeah, we've had a few issues with it, but nothing too major. Red Lynch have been pretty good. They've always come and sorted her out. And
obviously, like maize seems to be a bigger thing for you up here than grass does anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Which is obviously why we're here watching the maize planting today. Yeah. But that tends to be, is that more due to the climate or the work that's provided around here because of the dairy farms?
I think it's, there's still quite a lot of grass down this way, but maize is another vital part of the diets for the cows down this way. And it's good ground to grow maize on. When we got into maize under fillum a few years ago, I started 6 years ago, I think. It seems to help out with a lot of the customers getting the maize off early before it gets wet, and then obviously getting another crop back in. So a lot of people will also have a cut of grass and then rip the ground up and put the maize under the plastic, so then it can take off a lot quicker and get the maize off earlier. Yeah,
so when I landed down to you the other day, obviously the first thing I caught you at was the muck spreading.
Yeah.
You just had the new digger, well, I would say just had the new digger lamb. It was her first day out and you put her straight into a slurry pit.
Brand new.
So obviously you've expanded a good bit on the plant side of things over the last few years. I know back when Gareth had visited you, it was kind of 50-50 between the plant and the contracting. Do you reckon the plant has overtaken it a little bit?
Yeah, looking at the way the agricultural side's going, it's stayed pretty much the same, but I think Rob's trying to expand the civil engineering side a little bit more. Yeah, he's just bought some new Volvo slews and the Cabelco. Yeah,
because you're doing a good bit of work on farms at the moment as well in regards to building new silage pits. I think there's a new dairy going in somewhere too.
Yeah, that's it, Yeovil.
Tell me a little bit about the digger you were driving the other day in the slurry pit. What is it she's going to be mainly used for?
Basically the same as all the rest of, the emptying the slurry pits, farm jobs, just general civil engineering, do quite a lot of drainage work. Yeah, it's just everything and anything that comes in really. And
then obviously the first cut that we had the other day, that was fairly early. You're out there then with the triples behind the 6250R.
Yeah.
Then you had the 936 on the baler.
Yeah.
And then you had the McHale wrapper on behind the
720. Yeah.
Exactly. So that would have been your first bit of silage.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Would you normally start that early?
Yeah, there's always a few early bits. It's just stuff that gets ahead of the rest really. They try and get that off a bit earlier and then let that come ahead again and cut the rest. the bulk of their silage probably in 2 or 3 weeks' time, I'd say.
Yeah, especially with the dairy ground.
Yeah.
And then in regards to the baling the other day, obviously you were actually chopping the grass as well. I know we were having a bit of a guessing game as to how many bales you get out of the 15 acres. I think the average was probably around 24, but you actually managed to get 33 off that.
Yeah, 33 bales, yeah.
Wasn't too bad for a light cut.
Yeah, no, it's good, yeah.
A lot of the bales up around here seem to be square silage bales.
Yeah.
Any particular reasoning behind that?
I think it's down to mainly farmers' preference on stacking, really. They're a lot easier to stack. And with the 120 by 90s, you can get quite a lot of weight in them. And it, I guess, for them feeding, if they're set up for the squares, it's a bit easier.
Right, well that's absolutely brilliant. I can see that you're absolutely frozen over there.
So it is a bit chilly.
I say that's absolutely brilliant. Thanks a million for having me out these last few days, and we'll get a good bit of the maize planting in behind you.
Cool, no worries.
Thank you.